Hello, my darlings. I hope that you have been well. I'm sure that you have probably guessed by the title and thumbnail of this video, but I am very nervous and very excited to finally announce that I am launching a Patreon page. To start, I'm sure that the majority of you are already familiar what Patreon is, but just in case you're not, Patreon is it's a platform for artists and creators to have a deeper connection with their audience by creating exclusive content that you, the patrons, can subscribe to on a monthly basis. As you probably have seen, lots of illustrators and artists use Patreon to show you guys behind the scenes content such as sketchbook pages, exclusive videos, even sending out physical rewards. There's tons and tons of options on Patreon. I have been wanting to create my own Patreon page for quite a while, and the reason why I finally decided to take that extra step was because I want to continue providing you guys with as many videos and new artwork as I possibly can. Prior to the pandemic, I was working part-time at a retail job in conjunction with all of my art practice, all my art stuff, because I had to try and make ends meet. I was just never really in a position where I felt like I was financially stable to go full-time as an artist. Then, of course, the pandemic happened and we all had to go into quarantine. And so about mid-March, my business that I work at, it's a non-essential business. And so we were all quote unquote laid off, and I've been home ever since. And while I'm of course concerned about the state of things globally, after that kind of initial shock washed over me, I was kind of then put in a position where I realized I'm now home all the time. And what better moment than to basically dedicate all of this free time to seeing what it would be like to actually be a full-time artist. And previously, when I was working my day job, I was just about able to manage 2 YouTube videos a month. And I obviously always had really, really limited time in order to create artwork and merchandise and run my shop and all those kinds of things. And then now, these past 2 months, now that I haven't had my time split up by being at a retail job, I've been able to make a YouTube video every week. I've been making so much more artwork, being able to work my sketchbook, and I've actually even been live streaming with you guys every week, and it's been so fun and really, really rewarding. But now I'm sure that you guys are probably experiencing the same thing wherever you're at, but in Ontario, businesses are slowly opening back up, including my retail workplace. And at the time of me filming this video, I haven't been required to go back just yet, but basically I could be asked to go back to work at any given moment. And it's a very precarious and uncertain kind of stressful position to be in, because I have no idea what my schedule potentially will look like next week and next week and the next week. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with the type of workflow that I've had in these past 2 months. So long story short, I love making videos. I love making new artwork. I love being able to live stream with you guys. I just love having all this extra free time to dedicate to this passion of mine, to this art career. And having this Patreon page will at least give me an idea if it's possible, if it is possible that I can do this full time. And yeah, I just want to be able to continue producing the same quantity and quality of content that I have been these past 2 months for you guys. So before I talk to you guys about what you can actually expect from my Patreon page, I do want to make a disclaimer saying that while yes, Patreon will have exclusive content, I don't want you guys to think that now that I have a Patreon page that I'm going to disappear or that you'll never see content from me ever again. I don't ever want you guys to feel obligated to join my Patreon page because I know that it's just not financially possible for every single person. And while having a Patreon page, I will be producing a lot of content for that. My best quality content, videos, artwork will always be available for free on my YouTube channel and my Instagram as usual. So no need to freak out or be worried about that. Patreon, of course, is totally optional. So now with that out of the way, now onto the fun stuff, what you can expect from my Patreon page. So to start, I'm going to have 3 tiers. The first tier will essentially be like a tip jar, but it will also give you access to voting rights on polls because I am a very indecisive person, and having you guys help decide between different topics for the next YouTube video or different themes on artwork will definitely be really, really helpful for me, and I think is really fun for you guys so that I can kind of get a better idea of what you guys are looking for or are more interested in. The second tier will give you access to behind the scenes content. So you'll be able to see more sketchbook pages from me, more in-depth kind of thoughts on what I think about certain products. I'll also be posting work in progress photos. I'm gonna provide some fun like phone wallpapers of my artwork for you. And I will also be releasing an exclusive video per month as well. And the content of that exclusive video will probably change from month to month. It could be a Procreate time lapse, it might be real-time painting, sketching, pretty much something that suits what I'm doing or what I'm interested in that month. That way it keeps you guys on your toes and it keeps it interesting for me as well. Then the third tier will be a print club. So every month I will send out to you guys a 4x6 inch postcard print that will have exclusive artwork for the Patreon month that you subscribe to. And it won't be available on my shop or anywhere else. So it'll be totally exclusive to Patreon. Basically, it'll be kind of like a collector's edition or something. And I'm very excited to say that I've decided for this first month of my Patreon print club, it will be the portrait that I did for the jelly gouache video. This video by far has been my most popular video on YouTube. And when I created that video, when I did that painting, I had no idea it was going to blow up the way that it did, and it completely is the reason for the majority of my growth on YouTube. And I made that painting with no intentions of making it into a print, and I know that some of you guys have been asking for it to be a print, and so I felt like kind of all these things, it just made sense, and it just felt really fitting for it to be kind of the first print that I offer on my Patreon page, since it's kind of paved the way for me to reach this point, I feel like. I have been very, very nervous about launching this Patreon page. For the friends that I've told in real life, they probably know how nervous I've been, and they've been so encouraging. And in my Instagram live stream, I'd made a soft announcement about launching a Patreon page, and you guys were so supportive, and all that encouragement has really helped keep my nerves down. But I'm totally the type of person who hates failing. I hate, giving up on something if I've set my mind to it. And so that was my big hesitation and why I've been so nervous about it. But similar to my YouTube channel, I know that I'm never going to know until I try. And it's like, this is like advice that I'm constantly giving to you guys, is that you just have to go for it and hope for the best. And you never really know what's going to happen unless you just go for it. So here we are. So I think that pretty much sums everything up. Thank you guys so much for watching this entire video, and I will have the link to my Patreon down in this description down below. And, you know, if you happen to be interested in checking it out, I'll have, you know, more details on the tiers and all that stuff on the Patreon page. And of course, again, like, do not feel obligated. Don't feel guilty if you can't support me on Patreon. I know that we're all in a really, really tough situation right now. And I just know that, you know, subscribing to my Patreon page is just not in the cards for everybody. And just from, you know, watching this YouTube video, watching my videos, liking my content, commenting, coming to my live streams, you know, all these things make such a big difference. And all these little things help me continue to grow and to continue to pursue this art career. And extra special shout out to all of you who have been purchasing from my online shop. Thank you to all the people who have purchased things from me at conventions in the past. Obviously, I hope to one day see you guys again at conventions when we can, you know, gather in big places. And yeah, all these little things, like, no matter how big, no matter how small, like, it really makes a difference. And basically, you know, every little thing just like nudges me closer and closer to being able to like achieve the dream of, you know, being a full-time artist. So thank you guys so much. I will see you guys in the next video.